Colonel James C. Allen.
All right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to Hilton Field. Congressman and Mrs. Miller, Congressman and Mrs. Wilson, Lieutenant General Retired Russo, Major General Becker, Command Sergeant Major Hain, Colonel and Mrs. Shade, CW5 Williams, Colonel and Mrs. Hernandez, Sergeant Major Barnes. Distinguished guests, families and friends, and most importantly this morning, graduating soldiers from the Roadrunner Battalion. Thank you for joining us here today. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment, as we did yesterday, and recognize all of our veterans who are in the audience. So if you have served with any of the armed services, would you please stand so we can recognize your service. And what a difference it makes to have a band in our ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in another round of applause for the 282nd Army. Standing on the field before you is a very special and select group. Nearly 640 Americans who are today becoming an American soldier. Each one of these soldiers enlisted, knowing full well that our nation is at war, and that they will likely deploy and engage the enemies of our country in combat. They have elected to serve our nation at a time when less than 1% of Americans serve in the military. And today, as they stand in front of you, they can say with great pride that they are an American soldier. Now, 98 years and 11 days ago, the 61st Infantry Regiment was constituted in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Since that time, this regiment has run 4 battle streamers for bravery in World War I and 8 battle streamers for actions in Vietnam. And today, like yesterday, there are 16 Roadrunners who fought in Vietnam and are joining us for this graduation ceremony. Gentlemen, would you please stand? Now, I'm sure that our Roadrunners who fought in Vietnam would agree with me when I say that being a soldier for life is not easy and it is not a comfortable way of living. A soldier gives up many of the freedoms that they fight to defend. They spend countless hours in cold, wet, nasty weather, or conversely out in hot, dry, dusty climates. They go for hours without food or sleep, and then are expected to perform at the peak of their abilities the moment the nation calls on them. And the success of these soldiers is due in no small part to the support they have received from those in the audience today. So thank you for your support and for the support that you've given not only to your soldier but to our nation. To the Roadrunners standing in formation, first of all, congratulations. You've accomplished your goal. In just a few minutes you will pass a review and you are going to graduate from basic training. But like I said on Tuesday morning, you have only begun your training in the Army. From this point forward, the expectations and the standards that you face will continue to increase. And although these requirements increase, the Army is built on the basics of what you've learned here. Stay disciplined, stay physically fit, always be ready to engage the enemy of our country with your assigned weapon or with any tool within your reach. Your drill sergeants have trained you well. You've learned skills which were once reserved for elite infantry units. You've employed some of the most technologically advanced equipment in any army in the world. And after today, you must continue to uphold the Army values and live up to the soldier's creed. The fact that you are standing in formation today tells me that you are absolutely ready for that challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in a round of applause for America's newest soldier. Roadrunners, you should feel extremely proud of your accomplishments. Sergeant Major Haight, the Roadrunner cadre, and I are truly proud of each and every one of you. Congratulations on a job well done. Victory starts here. Strike strong, Roadrunners.
Today's soldier is above all a warrior, adaptive, confident, and competent. As a soldier, you are totally committed to the warrior ethos, grounded in Army values, and are determined to destroy the enemies of the United States of America and her allies. The United States Army Soldiers Creed embodies this commitment. The uniform you wear at this moment is more than an hour display of your vocational choice. Your uniform is a symbol of the nation, and an unspoken assurance to all who see you that you are a willing and able protector of the freedoms fought so arduously for by all who have gone before, by those who will bravely come after. You will become what you set out to be, a soldier of the United States Army. The Soldier's Creed is your declaration of your unshakable commitment to the ideals this nation was founded upon and will continue to guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Specialist Daniel Kent from Company A leads the soldiers standing before you through the reciting of the Soldier's Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, once the ceremony is concluded, other members of the drill sergeants of the cycle, soldier leaders of the cycle, and soldiers of the cycle, please move to the bottom of the reviewing stand, where you will be escorted to the commanding general's recognition tent to the left of the bleachers. All other family members and friends may meet their soldier to the far right of the bleachers at the end of the parade field. We ask that you please remain seated in the bleachers until all soldiers have passed the reviewing stand and the playing of the Army song is complete. Ladies and gentlemen, as the American flag approaches the bleachers during the passing review, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it is passed to your right. The passing review is a ceremony tradition handed down in the Army since the time of the Continental Army in 1775. The review allows the commander to survey the discipline and readiness of the soldiers as they pass the reviewing stand. As each element passes the commander, he gives the command eyes right to render respect to the reviewing officer. Company A is commanded by Captain Carlos Brown from New York, New York. Second platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Sean Burns from Howardtown, Ohio. Third platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Rebecca Bellinger from Reno, Ohio. Fourth platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Ronald Hardy from Mount Olivet, Kentucky. Company B is commanded by Captain Caesar Coutinho from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Bruce Patterson Jr. from Denver, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reminded that as you approach by the American flag, it is appropriate to rise and remain standing until it is past your right. Company C is commanded by Captain William H. Adams from Halifax, England. First platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Sean C. Big from Palm Desert, California. Third platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Sandra Ospina from Medellin, Colombia. Fourth platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Angela Rotondo, Catania, Sicily. In the regular formation is the first sergeant, Sergeant First Class Aurelius Bradley from Mobile, Alabama. Company E is commanded by Captain Delbert Jew from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. First platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Joseph A. Bowles from Columbus, Ohio. Second platoon is led by Drill Sergeant Keith D. Johnson Jr. from Louisville, Kentucky. Third platoon is led by Drill Sergeant John Michael II from Queens, New York. In the regular formation is the First Sergeant Victoria E. Reeves. from Tampa, Oregon. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the August song. Please remain in the bleachers until the conclusion of the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of the Commanding General and the Men and Women of the